Welcome to Blended Family Matters. This is a channel all about the ups, the downs, and everything in between when it comes to blended family life.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about parenting skills, parenting struggles, the wins. I added.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Because one of the things, as we start this, one of the things we want to do is remind you that you are not alone in this.
Right.
And sometimes you can feel that way. We're Marlo and Alicia Briscoe. We're in a blended family. We are a blended family. We have 7 children together. We have 14 grandkids, y'all. 14 grandkids. And what we want to do, though, is get on this platform and share our experiences. Because sometimes you can think you're by yourself. Sometimes, and we got a pooch, so you might hear her in the background trying to get some airtime. So just bear with us, okay? But what we're going to do is just share our experiences, share some of the challenges, some of the victories, some of the poor decisions as well, because we want to be genuine. I think that's the point we really want to get across.
Absolutely. So today, we're going to be talking about understanding blended family dynamics.
Yep.
Because let's be honest, blending a family isn't the easiest thing to do.
It's not.
Okay.
No. A lot of different flavors.
Right. It's not just, packing up, moving together in one space, right?
Yep.
It's about a whole lot of other things. It's about different emotions, different personalities.
Yeah, the different changes.
Different likes and dislikes, And everybody comes into a blended family thinking that, okay, it's all about me.
Remember how it was when we got married, right?
Absolutely.
We got married, we thought, wow, it's going to be bliss.
Yes.
Then reality hit, y'all.
Yes.
We had our baggage, kids had their stuff, and so we want to talk about that, especially when it comes from the aspect of the dynamics of a blended family.
Absolutely.
Like my wife said, the adjusting, the changes, the figuring out the roles of the parents and things like that. That was tough. That was a hard challenge. And one of the things what we found out that helped us was family meetings. We would have family meetings, and that gave us an opportunity to get to know each other better. And it just took a while. The family meetings had a couple of purposes. One was to help with social skills. One was to resolve conflict when there was an argument in the house. Hey, look, when we say family meeting, everybody get upset. They hated family meetings, y'all, but they had a purpose. That was a part of the dynamic of the family.
Right. And family meetings is not just about, everybody trying to give everybody else a piece of their mind. It's about listening. It's about the dialogue, communicating with one another, making sure that everyone feels like they've been heard. Like my husband said, we had them all the time. I wasn't a fan of the family meetings at first.
She had a long face too, though.
But after a few times doing it, I could see the fruit from it. I could see the benefits that it was having in our family dynamics, and how it was affecting me as the mom in the house, affecting the children, the flow of things and everything else.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that we had to understand, and also share with the kids, make sure that the kids understood, was the roles.
Yeah.
The roles in the household.
Yes.
Although, he was not my children's biological father and I was not his children's biological mom, they still had to understand the roles in this house. He's the dad, I'm the mom.
And the challenge with that, sometimes the roles aren't defined.
Right.
The roles aren't made clear.
Absolutely.
So where there are no boundaries, where there's no direction, people kind of go all over the place. We got to have some order in this. And it doesn't happen overnight. What we had to do was establish it. Because initially we thought we could talk and everything would be all right and they will understand. No, kids are not resilient, y'all. That's a myth. And they have a lot of hurts when they come into blended families, especially the smaller ones. The adults too, sometimes they have the challenge, but the kids don't know how to discuss their feelings. So it was important for us to keep letting them know what the roles are, what our expectations of them too. So they had a role to play.
Right. And it took time. That respect, that trust, all of that did not come automatically. You know, it's different when you have your children and you raise them and you teach them certain things, opposed to you bringing two families together, and this family may have taught one way, this family may have taught another way. And that's what was happening in our household. So that's why it was important for us to establish some rules.
Yeah.
It was important for us to create a foundation on what we were going to build the family upon. So we were that foundation.
Yeah.
First it was God, and then it was us on top of that. So when we did that, we had to understand, give the children a chance to get comfortable.
Yeah.
When it came to, I didn't expect his children to automatically come to me about certain things. So they directed a lot of stuff to my husband, and vice versa. My daughters would come to me. And it wasn't that they were trying to be disrespectful.
Right.
It was a trust issue.
Familiarity as well.
Exactly. It was a trust issue, not only within the household with us, but then they had loyalty to their other biological parent.
Right. So when you talk about dynamics, one of the things I want to navigate to is the communication aspect of that, because we talked about the family meetings, but also it's important to have that line of communication, and with that communication came patience, because one of the first things we learned, we had to learn, is if we don't agree with certain things, we had to communicate that behind closed doors. We couldn't have that disagreement in front of the kids. Secondly, the family meetings were to help the kids, that communication piece, once they got comfortable, to be able to share some of the issues they may be having. Why are they not getting along? Why are you mad right now? And even to the point of learning how to communicate with adults, people who are in authority. Absolutely. We had one, we had to stop her from talking. The other one, we had to keep priming the pump. But we had one, she was the spokesperson. We weren't going to let her be the spokesperson. And sometimes you'll have that in the family. You got one that loves to talk, and you got other ones who try to get behind that one. Encourage the communication, because it's a benefit to the family. And if they're smaller kids, it's a benefit to them, because it's helping them develop communication skills.
Absolutely. You got to understand, in a blended family, things are different. They are just so different. They're going to look different. It's not going to be the same thing every day, every week, or every month, for that matter.
Yes.
Because especially if you have children that are going from household to household, I call that dual citizenship. Dual citizenship, if you think about it, it's like, I have citizenship over here. This was where I was born and raised, in my biological home. Now that my parents are not together, now I have a parent over here in a new home. Now I got to cross the borders and go over here to this new home. And it's a whole different world. You know, they have to understand that there are different rules, regulations, different expectations, different things that they can or cannot do. And that can be taxing on a child.
It can be taxing on a child. And when we think about dual citizenship, and you have somebody who may come from another country and they come to this country and want citizenship here, it takes a minute. It can be intimidating. They have to learn the customs, they have to learn the ways, the rules, and the guidelines. Because I had a friend of mine was telling me, he was from a Caribbean country, and around there, sometimes they drive around and the police just have their lights on. So he got over here and he was speeding, didn't realize it. The police was behind him with the lights on, and he figured back at home, the lights are on, and he just kept driving.
Cool.
I'm good. He, like, hey. And the officer pulled him up upset. But the point I'm trying to make is understanding the rules, understanding how we flow in these different environments when you talk about that dual citizenship.
Absolutely.
We had to learn it ourselves.
Yes, we did, because we didn't understand while the children were doing one thing when they came over here, we're like, okay, hold on, where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
But we had to, finally realize, oh, that child is coming from another household.
Right.
And this is very important. We never want to criticize the other parent.
Absolutely
We
not.
never want to do that.
No.
Because when you do that, you got to remember that child has loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do that, that doesn't help you bond with that child at all.
Yeah, you really want to check out some communication, do that.
It really doesn't help at all. And another thing that we had to learn was fairness does not always mean equal.
Yeah, different personalities.
And I could tell you, I even struggle with this. When we first got together, we first got married, we were living in a townhouse. We had 3 bedrooms. My 2 daughters lived with us full time. His 2 sons came over every other weekend. So, of course, me and the girls, we get there into the house, they're thinking they're going to have their own room. Oh, I got my room, this is my room. And, man, my husband was looking like, where the boys going to sleep? And so I was like, oh, we're going to have a room for the boys and a room for the girls. Well, me and the girls weren't too happy about that because we was like, they probably got their own room at their other house.
Right.
And they got to have a room over here. Man, they got 2 rooms. But moral of the story is, fairness does not mean equal.
It really comes to compromising.
Right. It was fair for the boys to have their own space when they came, and for it not to be disturbed by the girls while they were away.
Yeah.
They needed a place for all of their things, their clothes, and all of whatever things that they had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a challenge, y'all. That was a challenge, and I'm gonna tell you something. And we're gonna touch on that in some future posts.
Yes.
But just want to touch on it briefly today. Guilt can play a major
Yes.
problem in the blended family.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with that, and I'll talk a little bit about that in future posts. But it was a struggle trying not having them around and having your girls around you all the time. And I'm not having my boys around me all the time.
Right.
And I'm now with that citizenship, like I'm not worried about citizenship. They're here, and it was a challenge. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about that, but I just want to sprinkle that a little bit in because that played a major part in it as well.
Absolutely. And when it comes to the guilt, what we had to learn about that, it was guilt, but it was a way that we had to handle it. We had to understand that each child needed something different from us.
Yeah.
So when the boys came, they needed to have that time with their father because they did not have it during the week like the girls had.
Right.
So I had to explain to the girls, okay, sometimes Dad needs just one-on-one time with the boys when they come over without me.
Yeah.
Because they did not have that time with you.
The time that they were used to as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was important. And we had to understand that, they need that. Not only did they need that when they came, but when they weren't there, then my husband had to understand, okay, you got to let go of the guilt that they're not here because you got 2 girls here that need you. They needed him to be present. They they wanted that attention from a father figure that was inside of the home. Like we said earlier, we had one child that she would always be the spokesperson, but we had another child that would just do what she was supposed to do, and she might not get as much shine as the one that was doing all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So it was, the dual citizenship wasn't just about the children moving from house to house, but it was also about us doing a balancing act, if you will, when it came to making sure all of the children got what they needed.
And that goes back to what we're talking about, the dynamics, because understanding that your biological I wasn't their biological dad, but
Right.
I was that representation in the household.
Absolutely.
That was the dynamic, and vice versa. You weren't their mom, but you were the representation in that household. In
Right.
the household, that was the dynamic that we made sure we got that point across, not forcefully,
No.
in a loving way, because understanding that parents, we're here to love you and guide you, whether we're biological, non-biological.
Right.
We're here to help shape you,
Right.
love on you, and get you ready to step out and do your thing in the world.
Right.
Go ahead. You want to?
No, I was going to say, when you said that, it reminded me of a story of your oldest son. At the time when we first got together, he was so angry. He was just angry because, who doesn't want their parents
You're right.
to be together always?
Yeah.
know, he didn't understand why his parents weren't together. And then here come this lady.
Here she comes.
Here she come.
Yeah. Who are you?
And who's she supposed to be? I don't want to have anything to do with her.
Right.
I don't want to call her step. I don't want to call her anything. I don't
Matter of
even
fact, I
want
want
to
her to
see her.
step.
I want her to step
Yeah,
over.
I want her to step.
And so his thing, I had to talk to him, and I shared with him that, I don't know you, and you don't know me. So let us try to get to know one another before
Right.
we say we don't like somebody.
Right.
You know how, somebody asks you to try some food that you've never tried before. You'd be like, oh, no, I don't like that. Have you tried it? I know I don't like it. You don't know you don't like it because you've never tried it.
Right.
And I was one of those people. I had to learn this, look, in a blended family,
Yeah.
me sharing with this child that I'm not trying to take the place of your mother. In no way, because your mother is perfect in every which way. I'm not going to take. I'm never going to take her place.
Yeah.
No matter what I do or how long I'm here. Understand though, I'm going to be here, and I'm going to be an extension of your family. Meaning, I'm going to be another person that's going to be here to love on you, to care for you, to provide for you. I said, especially for Christmas. Guess what? Extra presents.
There you go. Ding, ding, right?
I was like, hey, who doesn't like extra presents, And he was still a little angry, and it took some time. And I had to give him that time. It wasn't easy. It didn't make me feel good. It didn't make me feel comfortable. However, I had to put me aside.
That's right.
And I had to bring him to the forefront.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in a blended family, we don't do that.
Yeah. What I've learned in the blended family, if you're intentional about growing the family in the way God would have you, it's going to grow you up.
Right.
It will grow you up because you'll learn patience, you'll learn compromise, you'll be humbled.
Yeah.
You'll learn how to extend grace and be more understanding. It's not an easy walk. It's not an easy walk at all, because it's bringing different personalities from different, like you said, citizenships, different households together. And that's a good segue when we talk about blended.
Yeah.
Because one of the things we want you to be aware of, blending, or I'm going to use the word in this particular point, bonding takes time. And sometimes we want to rush things.
Yeah.
And when you rush things, sometimes they don't finish cooking. It'll come out uncooked, it'll come out raw, it'll come out not a perfectly finished product. Think about it from this perspective. When we heard this from some of the teaching that we got, a guy named Ron Dill, I want to share, I'm giving him his kudos on this particular one.
Yes.
He gave the analogy of the blender and the crock pot.
Versus the crock pot.
A lot of us want the blended, the blender.
Yes.
We want to be a blender in the family where we just got the stuff all in one thing and we just spinning it around and spinning it around and mashing it all together quickly, and it's not coming out the way you want it. Now, if you think about it from a crock pot perspective, my wife loved to cook stuff in the crock pot.
Slow and steady.
Slow, steady. You take all these ingredients and you put it in and you just let it simmer together and come together and make a perfect flavor. And that's how we should look at it. When we look at things, when we talk about a blended family, don't rush it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a blender mentality. Have a crock pot mentality. And that goes back to what I was just sharing. It takes humility. It
Yes.
takes patience.
Yes.
It takes grace. It takes sometimes you biting your tongue, understanding that this child doesn't know how to express themselves, and we see it by the way they act.
Absolutely.
And ask God, give me a strategy, Lord. There's plenty of times, Lord, give us a strategy on how to deal with these kids, because they're going through some things, and we want to be, we're here to help, and we had to be careful that it didn't tear us up.
Right. Right.
It could go there.
Yeah.
It could go there.
In a blended family, everyone is evolving, everyone is compromising, everyone has to communicate, everyone has to listen. It's not okay, we're the parents, we're the boss, this is what is going to happen. If you go in with that mentality, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to get anywhere.
They're going to shut you down.
They're going to shut you down totally. It will never mesh.
Yeah.
You know. And another thing that we found out, when we weren't on one accord and the kids knew it,
Oh, man.
it was like playing tennis up in here, okay?
Divine conquer. Them jokers, us against them.
Yes, indeed. And we had to, finally understand, okay, if we don't agree, let's table it
Yes.
until we're behind closed doors so that we can discuss it and then, okay, hear each other out and find out how are we going to proceed in this situation or circumstance when it comes to the children. Because there were times I may be upstairs, he's downstairs, and the kids would want to do something. Come and ask Dad. Dad's like, okay, I don't care. 10 minutes later, I'm coming down. Where the kids? I don't know. What you mean? What happened?
They out the house.
They left.
It's quiet.
It's gone. No, I told them they couldn't do X, Y, Z.
Right, yeah.
He didn't know.
Right.
But he didn't check. And, and that's another thing. We think that we're asking each other permission.
That's a good
when
point.
we
That's a good
ask, please check with me sometime.
Let's communicate.
Let's just communicate.
Yeah. And on that point, we made some mistakes in our communication, but we made a point to correct those mistakes.
Yes.
So it won't happen again.
Yes.
And even with the couples, you got to be patient with each other.
Yes.
Because going back to that guilt thing, you both could be dealing with guilt, or one of you could be dealing with guilt. And a lot of times it's the one who's used to having kids around them, who the kids aren't around them anymore, can struggle with that guilt.
Yes.
And it's good to be able to talk about that. We used to have Saturday mornings at the kitchen, just you and I in the mornings, just talking about different things and working through some things. And it took us a while to get there.
Yes.
Because we had our own baggage. We had some stuff ourselves. And we trying to deal with everybody else's these kids. And we trying to work through our stuff.
Right.
It's doable though.
It is.
It's
it
doable.
just takes work. It takes work and takes intentionality. Like my husband said, it requires.
Requirement.
It doesn't take. It requires.
Yes.
This is a necessity. Patience, grace, and a whole lot of understanding.
You run around the world now.
Look, a whole lot of understanding. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying to you guys? This is not something that we just read about or heard about. We live it. We're still living it. And what happens is the sooner you be intentional about blending your family, the better off I believe that you'll be. Because remember, your family is going to keep growing.
Yeah.
It's going to keep multiplying into more generations. Like my husband said, we have not only children, but we have grandchildren.
Yes.
They have questions.
They have questions.
You have to be ready for that. And don't nobody wake up in the morning and say, oh, I guess I'm going to be in a blended family today.
Yeah.
We don't wake up saying that. And we don't talk about it when we're dating.
No, we don't.
We get all
Caught up in
infatuated
bliss.
with one another.
They'll be all right.
And then, you talk about the kids, but you kind of gloss over the kids.
Yeah.
And you gotta look out for those red signs, those red flags.
Those flags, yeah.
You know, if you can't talk to your mate about that you have children or whatever, that's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem down the road.
So, in that dynamic perspective, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more. Who should be disciplining which children?
Yes.
How you're going to deal with them? How you're going to set things up from the
Absolutely.
biological to non-biological, so they can respect the non-biological. There's a lot of communicating there. That's a part of the dynamic that we're going to get into on future posts.
Yes.
But we want to leave you with this. There's no perfect formula.
Nope.
It really isn't.
No.
It didn't come with a book. The book, there are books out there that can help you,
Yes.
but it's not for every situation. You just gotta trust God and understand that. Just listen to God's voice, and He'll guide you and communicate with one another first and foremost.
Right.
Walk in that patience, and be willing to grow. And growth takes time.
Yes.
Takes time.
Absolutely.
So, blended family life isn't perfect.
Nope.
But in the long run, it's worth it because we got 7 children, 14 grandkids. All of them are doing well.
Yes.
And I'm not saying they don't have their challenges. We have our challenges, but we still instill in them. We still impart in them. So, if this spoke to you, I know you're going to cut me off, but I was trying to get my thought right, y'all. Hey,
I was
look.
about to cut them, yeah.
You want to go ahead? You take it.
No, you.
Oh, okay. So, if this spoke to you, now you can tell we're getting used to doing this. So, we appreciate your patience. So,
That's right. You can crack on. This is
That's
all
right.
good.
That's right. We won't hear it. You can send us a line and let us know how funny we are.
There you go.
If this spoke to you, you're part of the Fruitful Family.
Yep.
And don't forget to like, share, and come back next week.
Yes.
Understand something. If you're in a blended family, God is in the ministry of reconciling and building from where we are. Leave you with another thought. If you look in the Bible is full of blended families. So we got examples of how God still blessed blended families.
Yep.
Okay?
We'll be talking about it in the upcoming weeks.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Be blessed. Gave us some time so we can cut that off.